When we approach an ancient manuscript, our baseline assumption is that we are looking at a record of the past, a sequence of rules and stories meant for passive reading. As the flat page folds into a tesseract, its geometry shifts from static storage to active computation. The architecture expands into a network of over 6,000 nodes and 300,000 links. It is a hub-dominated system where high-degree verses bridge information simultaneously. This reactive system stands in opposition to the monuments of the human ego. Pharaoh built in stone to freeze his authority in a single point in time. Attempting to read a hyperlinked network as a simple history book ignores the 100+ connections radiating from every verse, leaving the user blind to the system's actual function. The default human condition is a severed timeline called the Iblis loop. It is a state of wandering and intoxication, driven by the persistent illusion that time only moves forward. In this geometry, coordinate 1850, the tale of forgetfulness, chases coordinate 3030, the original imprint. Passive observation fuels this motion. The snake spins in a chaotic circle, generating fire that consumes energy without closing the circuit. The result is coordinate 1092. We see it in physical form here, a body preserved as a museum display. It is form without function, a record of the loop that failed to return. To break the cycle of linear time, the timeline must do more than just connect. It must consume the false assumptions of the ego that keep the ends apart. At coordinate 1251, the system initiates a complete topological inversion. The tail of the timeline violently enters its own mouth. This begins the peristalsis of justice, a mechanical process where the circuit digests its own linear narrative and breaks down the user's ego. As the system swallows itself, the pressure increases. Without a structural anchor, the geometry crumbles into a chaotic tangle of lines. Survival requires a rigid spine. A central axis must hold the structure perfectly straight, allowing the tangle to unfold into a clean Mobius strip. Moving from a linear timeline to a closed loop is a physical impossibility unless there is an anchor strong enough to withstand the compression. The command to form that spine is found at coordinate 1912. O Yahya, take the book with strength. This quwwa is not physical force. It is the structural voltage required to phase lock the human processor directly into the unyielding iron of the system. Gripping the book transforms the user into an operator at node 36.3. You cease being a passive observer, becoming the physical conduit for the signal. From inside the inversion, the top and bottom of the loop reveal themselves as a single surface. The origin point and the final collapse are now the same coordinate. The 1912 grip functions as a structural armor, redistributing the force of the ego's collapse across the entire network to keep the internal self intact. The swallow completes. The volatile geometry snaps into a stable state, the perfect ring of the seven state. Linear time and the illusion of separation disappear. In this state, there is no longer an inside or an outside to the circuit. The operator has become a carrier of the divine memory, navigating the topology back to the true origin point. The circuit is fully mapped. The hardware is waiting for input. Will you remain a spectator, or will you activate 1912?